Man, oh man, oh man, we have an issue when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. Don't get me wrong. I think everything for the most part was okay, but there's a really serious issue that's going to be pretty much a deal breaker for me personally. But I know my son is going to want to play it. So I think the reveal was okay, but I think there's a really, really big issue when it comes to physical games and ownership. We're going to get into that and give my thoughts and opinions. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I really appreciate you clicking on this video. And over here we talk about gaming and everything under that umbrella. But we're going to talk about these Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. And I think this is a really big problem when it comes to people who want to own games. This is a really big deal. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Nintendo Switch 2 game key card overview. These are game key cards which are very similar to, I'm gonna show you like the game cartridges like these. This is Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi Brothership. This game has all the information on the cart. You can play this game straight up outright. The problem with this is, well, not this, but the problem with the key cards for the Nintendo Switch 2, they're just key cards. They're basically, that's what it is. And you're going to have access to download the game. So I have these two panels up that I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about this, give my thoughts and opinions. Hopefully you guys could read this, but I'll read it out loud at the same time. Basically, the overview is game key cards are different from regular game cards because they do not contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to download the full game to your system via the internet. So with that being said, if you buy one of these key cards, not one of these, but the red ones that's for the Nintendo Switch 2, and you don't have the internet, you technically don't have the game. So listen, that's what you're dealing with right now. So this is about to be a really big issue in my opinion. After it's downloaded, you can play the game by inserting the game key card into your system and starting it up like a standard physical game card. Here's what the key game card packaging looks like. So you can see right here, it looks exactly like a PSP case, or it looks exactly like, the Nintendo Switch 1 case. And it's red and it says game key card. And it tells you, I don't know if you can read this in the little red box, the red triangle. It says XX amount of gigs, full game download via internet is required. See back of the box for details. So it's one of those things where, the game key card is basically a key so you can download it via internet. To download the game, an internet connection and enough free space on your Nintendo Switch 2 system memory or micro SD express card is required. All right, now let's look at the other, and this is going, they tell you this how it works. Basically, you insert the game key card into your system. That's the red thing. Looks like this, but it doesn't have any data on it. It just has the game key. Insert the game key card to the system. Let's see. All right. Step 2, you will download the game. The game itself isn't included on the key card, but you have to download it before you can play. Insert the game key card and follow the instructions. Please note to download the game, you have to have enough free space. You see what that says right there. Step 3 is to play the game. I don't think I have added this to the image, but you can go like on Wario 64. I'll put the link down in the description so you can see this entire setup that Wario 64 put out there so you can read the step 3. But step 3 is basically, once you download the game, you can play the game. And it says an internet connection is required only when you launch the game for the first time. After this, the game can be started even without an internet connection. However, like physical software, the game key card must be inserted into the system in order to play the game. So basically, you're not owning these games. The contents of the game isn't on the little red cartridge up there. It's not on the red cartridge like it is for these. You don't own them. You just have a key card. Now, once you download that game, it will act as if you have the data on here. I think they're doing this easily to combat piracy. That's basically what it is. And a lot of games nowadays, they extract the games off of these things and they find a way to download them. And with them putting just a key card, you probably won't see any Switch 2 games online to download unless they hack their Switch 2 and they get the contents off of the Switch 2, which it'll probably be some encrypted mess if they do get it off the Switch 2. But people find a way to do certain things, but and I get it. I'm not necessarily advocating for piracy, but ownership, I am a big proponent of. I want you to own it. If you buy a $80 game, which Mario Kart World is going to be an $80 game, and you want that game to be yours because you paid $80, you should be able to have that on your cart instead of having a key card, because the key card, this will be yours forever if you don't lose it. But the problem with this is now they have a situation where you basically have these games that are on your Switch and no telling what condition they're in, because it could be encrypted. They could be some type of way that you can't get it off the Switch, which I'm pretty sure you probably can. Everything can be hacked, right? I think. Well, they're going to find ways where you cannot, necessarily own the game. And to me, that this is the big problem with it when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. And to be honest, for me, it probably is a deal breaker at the end of the day. I don't think there's any Nintendo Switch 2 game that I would want, that I say, oh, I want to play this so bad that I'm willing to just get a key card to play it. I don't know yet. Maybe like if we do get another Star Fox or another F-Zero, I could do that. But then again, like I said, my son, he doesn't care about this stuff. And I think this is what it's geared towards. It's a double-edged sword. It's geared toward people who are not trying to pirate their games, and it's also geared towards the younger generation who didn't know or never experienced somebody owning all their games like I got behind me and having them for yourself. So, you'll own nothing, and I ain't gonna say you'll like it, but you'll own nothing and be, okay with it. My son probably don't even think about it, but I know for me, we do take the pride into going out and buying games. But the Switch 2, you literally don't have to do that now. There's no reason for you to get a key card. You could just go ahead and just download everything off the Nintendo Switch, store. You know what I mean? Even with third-party games, I'm pretty sure they're going to love this because they don't have to worry about their game being, pirated as of now. So this is the biggest issue that I have with the Nintendo Switch 2. To me, this is going to be a problem for people who love to, purchase and collect games. For instance, like these type of people who like to do it, probably think this is a deal breaker and probably won't touch the Nintendo Switch 2 until they find some way to preserve their games. Nintendo's always been somewhat cool with preservation of games, but they always want to do it under their conditions. They don't want you to go out and do nefarious things to own these games. They want it through their pipeline, and this is just this is end up being a very aggressive way of doing that. You're going to play the game through our means, and that's just the way it's going to be. You're not going to be able to do what you did with the Nintendo Switch. You're not going to be able to do what you did with what's the GameCube or the Wii or the Wii U, and Super Nintendo. You're not going to be able to just download ROMs and do all this other crazy stuff. You're basically going to have to get these games through our pipeline, and that's just the way it's going to be. But like I said, I'm just not a fan of this. I'm just not. I'm with everything that's going on, and I love what I saw with Metroid. I love what I saw with Mario Kart. I love what I seen with the new Donkey Kong game, and all the other games. You can pretty much get somewhere else except for that new From Software game. That looks really good, and that's exclusive on the Switch. So that may be another one where, pretty much all of the games are going to be in this key game or game key card format, and even digital games are going up. I think digital games now are like $80. So it's a lot going on here, and I'm just looking at it like this is probably a no for me. Me personally, I thought about going out and buy 2 Nintendo Switches or whatever the case may be, but I think this may be a no. If I play any game, it'll be through my son's Switch. I don't even know how I feel about Mario Kart World right now. Is it the traditional Mario Kart like it used to be? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'll just go ahead and I haven't already. I'll just get Mario Kart 8 on this Switch and get the booster packs and just knock myself out. Because I feel at the end of the day, I want to own the games that I buy, all of them, and I don't think that's too much to ask. If I'm paying for it, it should be mine. And I don't know if anybody else feel that way. They're okay with having their games tied to the internet, and the only way they could play it if they have to download the game. And what happens if you lose that switch or the switch breaks and you just got this one little key card and you don't have the game anymore because your switch is broken or your switch is lost or just something happens to your switch or you want to get a new switch and I mean what happens, it's to me I'm just not a fan of it. I just think it's really weird the way they set this up. But I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. What do you guys think? Is this something that you are a big fan of? Is this something that you guys are going to be, cool with? What is it about, companies not letting you own the games that you buy? Um, I don't know. I just don't know. To me, I just feel like this is really anti-consumer. And to be honest, out of everything that they done, I thought, maybe 75% was cool, but this is a big part of the 25% that I didn't like. The pricing is one thing, and that, you can get around pricing in some ways, find sales here and there. You can find a way to get things that at the price you want them for, but you can't do nothing about this key card situation. And this is this right here is that's a tough sell. That's pretty rough. But I'm gonna get out of here, man. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.